Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on a rematch today. I was actually hoping for something a little bit more threatening, but this is a interesting usage of this map, which I have not yet found a good use case for because the unbreakable terrain is a little bit too... it's not difficult isn't the word, but it's not favorable to your defense when you're building on this particular map. It's the unbreakable blocks slows down approach, yes, but once they open up that space, it's pretty much free game for whoever's in that little row right there. But here we go, we got the cancel control, we got the Felix, the Warpies. Could have just tanked this, well, that's what I'm doing with Erica, but we're gonna do this with Malice instead. We got Fjorm here for the Lin of it all, Ascended Fjorm. The great thing is, she takes more damage than Ice Stripe. Well, green versus blue. I don't know. I haven't done the math on that. But she takes a lot of damage because she's not a current unit. She doesn't have new gen stats like Ice Stripe Storm does. So Ascended Fjorm takes a lot of damage against Lin. But that's great for Fjorm because as long as she doesn't die, she will hit back really hard. So yeah, Fjorm is here. I think I didn't expect her to age this well with the Ice Mirror. She's really just the only unless eventually Dual Chrom will get a Dual Chrom will get a remix or refine at some point, and yeah, Fjorm will not be having any fun anymore. At least this one. And I guess the same can be said for Veronica, but Veronica's thing was more of really needed a triangle attack to get through this Fjorm, and since Shield Fighter's a thing, I don't think that'll matter when Veronica eventually gets a refine. But Chrom just hits hard enough to make it all not matter. So yeah, not looking forward to Dual Chrom getting his refine, but in any case, we're gonna do this with Malice and Fjorm, line it up so that we don't have to worry about anything else. It's actually, not the worst defensive layout with what's available to my opponent here, because it's really tricky, or it could be potentially detrimental if you have a full back row here. Luckily, I don't have that, so I don't have to worry about that particular problem. All we have to do is avoid some of Lin's range and make sure Malice gets to do her Malice thing. But there should be some shenanigans here with the block breakage, which is why I broke one of the blocks to allow Felix to warp in. But then the opposing defense should do something. One of them, Neathhugger, I suspect, is probably going to break that block, and then something is going to happen. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But overall, it should be fine. Malice will do her job very, very well.
Leave my sight.
Is this Brave? Am I speed tie? It might be a speed tie here since, well, he's dead. It doesn't matter. Because those were a lot of debuffs. So I don't know if that was a Brave hit or just a regular follow-up. Probably a Brave hit. Because if it was a regular follow-up, it would be for, yeah, because she has the Erica ring. Normally Fjorm has trouble taking this this Robin, because she doesn't hit hard enough on the first attack, but not the case here with all of the debuffs, the sabotage and everything. Fjorm is able to get that KO on Brave Robin, who I have now, I think, at +5 without even pulling for her. It's just there's nothing else to do with her aside from merge her, so I've just been merging her. Her fodder isn't the greatest, but luckily she's a very decent unit. I'm not like the greatest. I don't feel very happy about the fact that her B skill is where all of her stuff is at. The touch spectrum, I believe, or something is in her B skill that's really good. So it's going to be hard to replace that or remove that in the future. But I think, she should do okay. I'm not like ecstatic for her viability in the future, looking at some of the other colorless mage refines that we've gotten with Byleth and that other one, Brave Marianne. Those weren't the greatest refines, so I feel like Brave Robin might get a little bit shafted in that regards, but I don't know, hopefully they'll have something else in store by then, because Brave Violet's refine was really bad. Worst of the bunch, I want to say, because I feel like she is like the only one who's just unusable at this point. Her Vantage thing is good, but she needed DR Piercing, she needed some more true damage, more damage overall. Just not a great refine.
Is it time?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. She's decent in player phase, but again, without the DR Piercing, she's just not doing all that much. Brave Byleth, so she's pretty much just sitting on the bench for me, which kind of sucks because I really liked, unlike everyone else, I really like the Sothis Regalia design on her. She looked really great, so I was really just excited to use her a bit more, but there's not much that I can really do with her, even with the speed preempt. Maybe if that gets like a massive boost in the future, maybe, but for now, she's not the great. I pretty much just player phase with her. That's really what I do, and that's not her. That's not meant to be her playstyle, if you get what I'm saying. That stuff aside, my God, what is IS even thinking with this Marth and Marth Elm? My God, what is IS thinking with this Elm? I agree. If he was on defense, like if he was an Anima defense mythic, I'd probably understand it. But to give that to offense, the fact that he's a mythic, meaning that there's incentive to use him versus Bridal Embla, where there wasn't you really would have had to specifically pull for her to run a specific play style. And if you didn't get her because she was on colorless, then you're probably just going to skip the unit. But Elm, legendary, or rather mythic unit, boost your score, opens the extra slot, the 7th slot I believe it is, and he is actually pretty strong. There's a lot of incentive to pull for this unit, which means he's more than likely going to be on every team moving forward. So that is pretty much GG's for far save, for saves in general, near saves, far saves in general on defense. Anima season, it's over. I don't know what they intend to do, because it's not even just the save of it all. It's the mid-turn undefended, which is the worst thing.
What now?
Everyone has feud. Everyone now has feud. Everyone is going to be able to attack into your defense and not care about what support effects are going around. And there's just no counter really to that, aside from hoping that someone on your defense survives and then can go in and take out an opposing unit. Mind you, they have 3 turns to do this, so
I go.
We'll do our best.
I mean, if it wasn't hard enough already trying to build a good defense, and Anima Season was actually one of the tougher ones, or the easier ones to build a defense for, because you had better units to pick from. And you can at least rely on your saves and the bulk. The bulk was there for Anima Season. You had bulkier units to pick from for Anima Season, but that again doesn't even matter now, because Elm is red. Definitely is going to be able to counter Becky, Ather. He's definitely going to be able to take out maybe not Snakes and Rhea, maybe not, depending on the build, I guess. But that's just the fact that he can inflict mid-turn undefended means you're probably going to lose, because your saves won't function. They'll just attack, survive, and then attack with someone else. All they need is miracle support. I guess there is some counterplay there since Ather kind of neutralizes miracle to an extent, but
Leave it to us.
just bring what's her face? Ymir. Just bring Ymir, you cleanse anything, and then you go in, you attack, and then you have your units follow up, and it's GG's. Yeah, what am I supposed to do about that? Like, honestly, what am I supposed... Like, the Embla thing was, like, I was okay with what Embla does, because it was just the start of turn, and then the alternative was to run Freyr, and Freyr, you could run him, or you could choose whether or not you wanted to run him, and I was typically choosing not to, because I was okay with it. This mid-turn debuff thing with undefended smoke...
Witness my strategy.
Words, I have none to say how genuinely frustrating that is. GG's. Let's play one more. Okay, here we go. I was gonna make this a overly complicated attempt at tanking, but I decided just to go with the Yunaka team since Hector here has no Hardy Bearing, and yeah, you still need Hardy Bearing on your saves. You need them to at least get the opportunity to attack, because otherwise they're just gonna die. Everything hits too hard, unfortunately. So, what was I saying about Elm? He's the worst. I didn't expect him to be the worst, but he is actually the worst. I mean, I thought it would be cute if he was added eventually, because, you know, why not? But man, he's actually the worst. I didn't even like him in the story, and now he's just ruining my day for Astra Anima season. I'm probably not even going to bother to build a defense, because it's not even the fact that it stops your saves from working. The undefended means that your back row is going to be very snipeable, because you're just not going to really be able to, like, you could put structures there, but all of that, the majority of that is breakable, unless you're going to pick a particular map that makes it a little bit more difficult. But your back row, which is typically where your nukes are, it's going to be very much snipeable by, like, let's say Erica or anyone with a Lin ring. Yeah, your actual nukes, the units that are supposed to be able to do damage and help you win the game, they're all accessible now. And there's just nothing that you can do about it. I mean, it's looking like the answer is to run a full melee defense. Like, basically just have melee units that can survive against Erica and Camilla. And that's just it's either one or the other. You're not going to be able to counter both. There aren't like that many great units in the game that can omni tank successfully against everything, and it's even harder when, you know, someone inflicts feud on you or undefended and just removes your support, which can be done depending on who the opponent brings. Full melee defense. Not happy about that. Yeah, not very happy about that. But I don't know, man. If I'm forced to, since I am probably going to do it, because I don't see any options unless they release something on the Fallen banner that's actually insane. But then, do I really want something else insane when the game just feels like you just broke the game with this stupid feud thing?
Give me an order.
Do I really want another unit to break the game just to fix the problem that they created? It was completely unnecessary. He did not have to do that. Unnecessary. Completely, very much unnecessary. Anything else? Well, not anything, but something else. Man. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it felt like that was the season that I was actually comfortable in, too. It was just like, yeah, this is chill. I know what I can do. There's some consistency here. And then this just literally changed everything. It's too often. Like, I literally felt like, well, I don't know. Not literally. But I felt like I've been able to run that defense since Athos has been introduced. And I haven't had to change that for like a month or two. And now I'm gonna have to change the entire thing, which, like, usually I only have to change like portions of it. Very rarely does a unit come out that forces me to change my entire defense, and it's happened twice now for Anima. When Nithauger first came out, the red one, who basically completely destroyed Nurgle, and I mean, to some extent, since I was using Fagado, because he was green, and not even that, he just did no damage. So he had to go as well, which means I had to change the entire thing. And now Elm here, who is a mythic, who will always be there, available to be used, just because of how good he is and what he allows you access for first mythic for Astro season to open up that extra slot, no one is not going to bring him unless they don't have him. And even if it's just to put him in the extra slot and wait until turn 3, I don't see why not. So yeah, he's always going to be there. So planning against that, that's just going to be the norm moving forward. And how do you plan against that? Don't run saves, I guess. Armored units, useless. If they can't actually save. I mean, I guess you can frontline with them, but then what is the point? Again, not a lot of great frontline armors. I guess Hector is one, but he's red. And also, again, he's armored. You'd have to remove his armor effectiveness or weakness, but then A slot, you can't really do anything about that with this perf. And then you have Rhea, who's pretty much the best, but weaknesses to range. You're better off just running frontliners. Slow, maybe, because it's really difficult to win speed checks on defense. Slow frontliners who can live a hit and KO on the counterattack, and nothing really comes to mind aside from maybe Ninja Diamant because of the Brave hits. Anyone with Brave.
Alright.
Desert Ike is looking a lot better now. I looked at it, I was like not interested in him really, but he's looking way better now.
Which path to take?
Into the surf.
Neathogger. Neathogger again, looking really... probably the only solution, or the best solution, is just to put Marth there since he has that vantage.
We're done here.
Erica as well, but her advantage is speed based, so that's probably not the greatest idea because debuffs and speed debuffs, and she just dies. So yeah, I don't know. Luckily they've given us 2 weeks to think, at least 2 weeks to think about it, since next week is Chaos season, which doesn't really matter as a defense season. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. I don't know, man. It's not great at all.